Hey, CCF Church family. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I want to give you some updates on some things going on in the life of our church. Thought it might be easier to shoot a video and just let you know what was happening. First of all, as you probably already know, this Sunday we are having a combined service at the Centerville High School. So no 9 a.m. service, no 10:45 service. We're actually going to have a combined service at 10:30 at the high school. We are asking you to arrive early. We'll probably have somewhere around 8-ish, 100 or so folks, maybe even a little bit more. And so it'll just take time getting everyone in the building, finding seats, all of that. So to aid in that endeavor, we are having Bill's Donuts that will be available beginning at 9:45. So come join us at 9:45. Get there early. When you arrive at the high school, you can go ahead and just come on back to the Performing Arts building. There will be signs out front, CCF banners by the road. There'll be a team of volunteers who will helping you get where you need to go, so you can find where you need to park, and then you can get the donuts. So those will be out in the parking lot. Look for the canopies, look for the CCF flags, and then make your way in for 10:30 for our time of worship together. Really looking forward to this opportunity to get together with the whole church family all at once. We will not be having any sort of children's ministry Sunday morning or childcare, and so we encourage you, bring the whole family. We know it'll be a little bit noisier than normal, bit more active than normal. That's okay. Go ahead and bring your kids and worship together as a whole family. Parking will be clear, as I said. Entrances into the building will be clear. I mentioned in first service this past Sunday that we'll have donuts and coffee, and our wonderful staff reminded me that we are not allowed to have coffee in the building. Therefore, we will not be serving coffee. So you can bring your coffee, enjoy it in the parking lot, and then just make sure to take it back to your car, or if it's a disposable cup, go ahead and throw it away before you enter into the building. We can only have water with lids on them in the building, and so we want to honor that, be good guests in the facility. Second thing we wanted to mention is the North Dayton Baptist Church open house, which will be happening this Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Now, you do not have to come for the entire 2 hours. You can come anytime between 4 and 6. Come, walk around, look at the facility, meet the wonderful people of North Dayton Baptist Church. We're hopeful that their members will be there, at least some of them will be there. I would encourage you to ask them their story. Ask stories about the church. Just as we are excited about this opportunity, we know that there's some bittersweetness for them as they're looking at closing their doors, and in many ways kind of closing the chapter that they have been a part of. And so I think as much as we can let them know that we care about their story, we want to build potentially on that foundation that they have built, and we're grateful for them and their faithfulness over the years. I think that would be an encouragement to them, and I think it would reflect the fact that God is building his kingdom, and this is not about CCF, it's not about North Dayton Baptist Church, it's about the kingdom of God and the gospel of Jesus Christ. Some of you have asked about the financials related to North Dayton Baptist Church. Currently they have about $70,000 or so left on their mortgage. That's from some fire damage that took place a number of years ago. To get that fixed, they needed to take out a mortgage. They have only about $70,000 left on that. They have a little bit of money in the bank as well. So we would not be, if we go this route, and again, this would be up for a church vote of affirmation in our next member meeting, but we would not be purchasing the building. However, there would be some debt associated with it, very small amount of debt, and it would be our goal as elders and our part of our presentation to you that if we go this route, day one, we go ahead and just take care of the debt. We have, thanks to your generosity, more than adequate funds to pay off the remainder of that outstanding debt and just be able to begin with a replant debt-free. Some have asked about timeline as well for the replant. Should we go this route, we would likely take legal possession of this building right around the first of the year, early January. In the meantime, between the time the doors of that church close and the first of the year, the association that we are a part of Baptist churches in Dayton, would help with some of the financials and bills and those kinds of things in the intermediate period. North Dayton Baptist Church has also agreed to continue to pay the bills and do those things until we're ready to take over. And then our plan most likely would not be to replant in the first of the year, but rather replant potentially maybe sometime fourth quarter in 2025. So maybe about a year from now. That will give us 9, 10, 11 months to get our ducks in a row and figure out who's going to go and what elders are going to go and what musicians are going to go and childcare workers and be able to raise up a group of you who in whom the Lord has laid on your heart a desire to go out and be a part of the church plant. And so that you can begin meeting together weekly and forging relationships and creating a plan together. And so that takes time. We want to do that well. And so we don't want to just jump right into that from day one. So that's why we kind of foresee potentially replanting around a year from now. But there'll be a lot more to come on that. If you have questions or concerns about anything related to this North Dayton proposal, please reach out to any of our elders. Many of you have already with questions, with thoughts, with ideas, with comments. We so value that. We are a congregational church, and so we desire to hear from you and hopefully answer some of your questions. In fact, some of the questions I've answered now were questions that were addressed to our elders, and we're trying to just go ahead and be clear and thinking that if one or two have asked these questions, probably many of you are wondering about them. The last thing I want to talk about for a moment relates to our church planting resident candidate, Michael Kahn. Some of you have asked questions around, like at the member meeting, we know he talked about kind of maybe coming out of a hard season in ministry, and if we're going to give him time to do what he needs to do to be ready to go ahead and plant, and we absolutely are committed to making sure he's in a good place. I would say he's in a good place now. The hardships related to kind of maybe some of his prior circumstances are not necessarily things that he's carrying or things that he has done, but just a context that he was in. And so we believe that in a different context, a supportive context, those are not concerns. But I think that those are great questions to ask. It shows that you're praying and you're thinking and you're wanting to love the Kahn family well. Michael is not necessarily the one that we're assuming North Dayton Baptist Church, replant, Michael Kahn coming on, like those two things are automatically going to happen. Obviously, we're proposing him to come on if he is affirmed by you all and does come on. And at the same time, you all affirm the replant with North Dayton Baptist Church. It seems obvious that might be a direction that we go. It's a direction we've talked about with the Kahns. It's a direction they are very interested in and passionate about, and there seems to be alignment for a lot of reasons. But that is in no way a foregone conclusion. We started working on hiring a church planting resident long before we even knew about this North Dayton Baptist Church opportunity. And so it could be that the Lord is bringing these two things together, but we want to move slowly in that. We don't want to just jump to the assumption that must be Michael coming on, North Dayton Baptist closing. Those two things will automatically happen. And so we view those two things kind of separately, the prayerful decision to replant North Dayton Baptist Church, the prayerful decision to bring on Michael Kahn as church planting resident, and then we'll see where the Lord leads in the coming days. And he may raise up someone else from within our midst, or he may make it really clear that the Kahns are to go. And again, that's something that we all as a church family, as members, will be a part of helping to affirm that together. Final thing related to Michael Kahn, some of you have asked about his title, church planting resident, why we don't just hire him as church planting pastor. And the reason for that is because, as we so often say, pastor and elder are synonymous. They're used synonymously in Scripture. Pastor, elder, overseer, bishop. Actually, all four of those titles are used interchangeably in the New Testament to refer to the office that we usually call pastor. It's one of the reasons that you'll hear from me sometimes referring to our non-vocational elders, guys like Jeff or Steve or Josh or Rick, as Pastor Steve, Pastor Jeff, Pastor Josh. And sometimes I'll refer to Nick Runlet or Taylor Ivester as Elder Steve or Elder Nick or Elder Taylor. I'm just trying to reinforce the fact that these are interchangeable titles. Well, that said, should Michael come on, he would not automatically be coming on as an elder. He would not initially be an elder. We want to give him time. In some ways, this whole role gives him time should he be hired. to assess if this is the direction he truly wants to go, and for us to assess as a church family, is this going to be a really good fit? And so there could be, hypothetically, we don't foresee this, but time down the road, perhaps several months down the road, should he come on where he just determines, you know what, there's another opening for me to go do maybe church planting with another in another context, or where we determine and say, you know what, we don't feel like maybe this next replant or this specific thing is the right thing for you, or we feel like it's more beneficial for you to spend maybe longer here at CCF. So the Lord may kind of direct in the Khan's hearts a certain way. He may direct us as a church family in a certain way. And so it's another reason we're not immediately bringing him on as an elder. And elders are to be tested and to be known, which is why we don't hire anyone and from day one make them automatically an elder. That's something that we give a little bit of time to that. Now, it would be our hope and our plan and our expectation that should we affirm bringing on Michael Khan, and should we decide, let's say, to go replant North Dayton Baptist Church in October of 2025, at some point in time, if we affirm that Michael Khan is the church planter to go and do that, at some point in time before then, we would bring him on as an elder, so he has some time to work among the elders and with the elders as well. But that's the reason for the title. It's what we did with Chris Bernstein. Chris Bernstein started out as church planting resident, and then partway through the process, we brought him on, came back to you as the church to affirm bringing him on as an elder, and you all affirmed him in that, and so he became an elder. We changed his title to church planting pastor. So hopefully that helps give some context to kind of what we're doing and why. One final thing, I think I mentioned one final thing a moment ago, but actually have one more final thing. Given some of the great questions that you all are having about North Dayton Baptist Church and about the Khans, we as elders believed that it's probably best that rather than meeting on October 6th for our member meeting, we're going to back that up 3 weeks to the 27th. It's not because we're hearing lots of red flags and lots of concerns that would cause us to say we don't think we should continue to advocate for this direction, either for the church plant or Michael Khan. But there are a lot of good questions that are coming in, and it just seemed to us, based on that maybe the October 6th meeting was a little bit premature. And so if we can go ahead and back that up 3 weeks, don't think it hurts anything, doesn't harm anything, and it gives us more time to pray as a church. When we initially planned on the October 6th timeline, at that point, Michael Khan was kind of the only thing that was on the agenda. And now with the addition of everything that's happened with North Dayton Baptist Church, and happened really quickly, a lot of it due to their timeline, we think, you know what, now we have two kind of big things we're thinking and praying about. Let's just slow it down a little bit. So again, if that causes scheduling headaches for you, I apologize for that. We initially set that out, and now it seems like, you know what, maybe that it's wise just to hit pause, slow down a little bit, give more time to pray and think, and then come back together, because both of these are important things, and we want to make sure we give everyone time to think, pray, ask questions, attend the open house at North Dayton Baptist Church on Sunday evening. So looking forward to worshiping together this weekend. I can't tell you how excited I am, and I hope you're excited as well. Looking forward to the open house on Sunday, and then our prayer and praise night and member meeting both are moved to October 27th, which will be a Sunday. So Sunday evening, the 27th, probably at 5:30 p.m. again, but we'll give more information as we get a little bit closer. I hope you have a wonderful Thursday, a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you on Sunday.